speak now to Yusuf Alabarda. He's a military analyst and a former NATO officer. Joins us live from Ankara. Good to have you with us. So let me get your take and analysis on this Israeli plan to storm Gaza City. Does the Israeli army, first of all, have the resources to seize Gaza City when you listen to some of the comments coming from their top brass?
Since 2 years, we have witnessed that Israel couldn't achieve its military goals in all over the Gaza. Still the hostages in the hands of the Hamas, and in 30-kilometer zone, still Israeli forces couldn't get out their hostages from the hands of Hamas. So that was the declared military goal, which Israel couldn't achieve yet. And we are not sure that the occupation of the Gaza City will bring the military success to the Israel, which he is declaring now, because still we have no idea where the hostages, but taking outside 1 million people will make it even more difficult, not only for the civilians, for the Israeli army also. They will have more casualties, and the success is not guaranteed, as if like 2 years ago they have declared.
Picking up, you've opened a lot of points there. I'm going to try and pick up on them. So first of all, what would the storming of Gaza City and its ground occupation mean for civilian life? As you mentioned, we're talking about 1 million people. What would happen to them?
Okay. Yeah, okay, there is 1 million people who is living in the Gaza City. As you have mentioned, 88% of the Gaza is already close to civilians. So in order to evacuate, expel these people from the Gaza City, you will try also those people to leave their lands. How you will say them leave this area? By using the aerial bombings, as we have seen since 2 years. For that reason, the first phase will be the evacuation of the Gaza City, which will cause lots of trouble because there is no sanitary condition, there is no food inside the Gaza, and that will deteriorate the position of the civilians even in the worse. This is the first part. The second part, probably they will use again the aerial bombings and artillery bombings. The third phase will be the siege of the Gaza City, and the fourth phase will be the ground offensive. So during these 4 phases, I mean the evacuation, aerial bombing, artillery bombing, and the siege of Gaza, and the last phase is the ground offensive, will be very bloody, not only for Hamas, not only for civilians, but also for the Israel IDF forces. That is very clear. And the genocide which is taking place inside Gaza will create even more difficult positions for the civilians who is living in the Gaza City. So the guarantee from the military perspective for the IDF is not given yet.
It's not a given. And if you listen to what the military and security chiefs are saying, they're reported to be opposing this plan, concerned that it will end up trapping the Israeli military. How much of an ideal environment would the rubble of Gaza City provide for armed groups trying to fight against the occupation forces?
Throughout the Israel history, we have witnessed that they are successful in the conventional way of war, like in the Arab-Israeli war. But this is an urban warfare which the Hamas and the armed groups are very successful against Israel. For this reason, when you take into the position in the Gaza, that will be a big trap for the IDF forces. Even the IDF soldiers know it very well. That is the reason that there is a huge discussion now among the civilian authorities and the military authorities, because they do know that those rubbles will be a grave for many of the Israeli soldiers. Because 2 years in a very limited area, which we call strip, they couldn't even know where still the hostages are taking place. For this reason, it is not easy. It is not an Iranian operation. It is even the worse. That is the reason that the success is not guaranteed for IDF, and also for sure that hostages will not be released and their lives will be lost also.
All right, Yusuf Alabarda, military analyst and former NATO officer, thank you for joining us and sharing your analysis.
Don't miss out. Get a full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news, expert insight. Like, share, stay ahead.